As you're aware, Wockhardt Hospitals has organized, in association with Hindustan Times, the Wockhardt No TV Day Health and Wellness Fest. Wockhardt Hospitals is the existence of a 40-year tradition of caring and innovation nurtured by Wockhardt. The New Age Wockhardt Hospital, South Mumbai, is the manifestation of a vision to take the standard of excellence of healthcare delivery further in India and to the next level. We provide super specialty care. Shilpa Shetty Kundra. I'd also take this opportunity to welcome on board and introduce one of Wockhardt Hospital's finest joint replacement surgeons, Dr. Mudit Khanna. Dr. Mudit Khanna has expertise in performing all sorts of primary...
A very good afternoon to everyone present. Thank you, Zahabia. And I would first and foremost like to apologize. There was a slight miscommunication. I thought I was meant to be here at 12:45:1, but obviously we went wrong there. But nevertheless, I'm here now. Yeah, it really wasn't contrived, Zahabia. It just happened naturally, and I really believe that I was meant to do this book because it was time that I played a catalyst in making people realize it was so easy to look after themselves. I've always said this, and I've harped on the point of how the world is more weight obsessed than health obsessed. And if you tell someone that they can lose weight, they will try it. And most people have issues with weight loss, and especially mothers, new mothers. So to actually lose that weight after your pregnancy is such an uphill task. And I went through the same emotions after my baby had put on 32 kilos. I thought I was never going to be myself again, never get my body back. And for me, it was even more scary and daunting because I was always synonymous with good health and having a good body and sounding very immodest right now. But that was my job to, look that way. And I just realized it was actually really easy to do if you just had a single-minded, goal-oriented focus and the right nutrition plan. And actually, it was about a lifestyle modification. That's something that I have practiced, that I've lived by. And I also have to say that unfortunately, despite being in this country and being a very proud Indian, I meet a lot of people who don't believe in what we have or the power of Indian foods. And there are also a lot of misconceptions and preconceived notions with Indian food and curries and whatever. So when I see a photograph of Madonna on Instagram talking very proudly about her putting clarified butter on her gluten-free toast, which is, by the way, ghee. And when I go to London and I go to Holland and Barrett and I see the first shelf stocked with coconut oil and clarified butter, I feel the West values it more than we do. And fortunately, we tend to run after what the West seems to do. So I just wanted to, in a very small way, talk about how easy it was to lose weight, one. More importantly, talk about a lifestyle modification plan, which is so needed in today's life that we lead. We are so stressed out with wanting to, achieve a goal, wanting to reach a certain position, or reach from point A to point B, which has become really difficult thanks to the traffic. We've forgotten about being in touch with nature, forgotten about how important it is to eat the right stuff, forgotten the importance of spices in our country, the power of food. Food can actually be medicine. We wouldn't need, they'll want to kill me after this, we wouldn't need these doctors. And honestly, I think they would want that even more. It would actually make their life easier because we've complicated our lives with complicated foods and bad eating habits, not breathing the right way. How many of you actually take time out and concentrate on breathing? That glow shows on your face. She's the only one that's glowing in this room. So that's what I'm saying. See? Kya baat hai? I'm very proud of you guys. So I just wanted to bring focus back to all the simple things that we have practiced for time immemorial. The West wants to copy us, and we are running after quinoa and olive oil when we have ghee and rajma and dudi, you know. We don't value those things. So my idea of writing the book was just that, trying to, and unfortunately also for us, we belong to this generation where we ever have a question to ask, or we have a problem, or we want a free solution, we go on the internet and we go into Google. So there's some 2 crore sites that open up if you go into weight loss, how to lose weight. So out of those 2 crore sites, it's actually scary how many sites you shouldn't even go to. Because if you do those things, you'll be damned. So I really wanted to do this for those people who firstly can't afford a nutritionist, who firstly don't have, for a layman who doesn't know how to take that first step towards making that lifestyle modification, towards, and you know, the onus also lies a lot on the woman. Because we are homemakers, what we decide on in terms of a menu in the kitchen is what your family eats. And you can actually safeguard their lives and make them feel better in the long run with the decisions you make. So I just wanted to make it easy. So cutting the long story short, that was the idea behind the book. And yeah, you know, my husband is British, and he always says there's no country in the world that has the word great before, you know, their country, which is true. Great Britain. So I was like, so I have to call it the Great Indian Diet. That's how the birth of this book happened.
So it sounds a lot like your book is about really making life win. And what would be the 3 top superfoods in the Indian cuisine or Indian foods?
Well, I swear by ghee, homemade ghee, and I've actually given people the recipe. It's so easy to make. My mother has made it all her life for us. I continue to make it for my son. So ghee, top on the list, great for joints.
Yeah.
Okay, great for digestion. You know, it has something called butyric acid, so it actually lines your stomach and it aids metabolism. Coconut oil, I'm Mangalorean, I swear by it. Coconut oil has also been a revelation in the West for Alzheimer's. So I only cook my food in coconut oil. And it would be a toss between flax seeds. Most people are allergic to it. I don't know why there are so many allergies now. So curcumin, which is a derivative of turmeric. Haldi, simple haldi. Great usage in our Indian food. And actually most of us we're a race that's quite healthy. It's only this generation. I really want to go back to the times as recently as 70 years ago. We used to eat healthier till then. After that, I think aerated drinks and junk food and all the, yeah, I don't want to take names, I might get sued. But I just feel we've complicated our lives with that. But if we just stick to the simple stuff, our lives will become far more simpler.
So Dr. Mudit Khanna, just a healthy diet, or are there any healthy food, backache, knee pain, any kind of aches and pains with your hectic schedule, work life?
No, of course. I mean, I'm not superhuman. I am human. And I actually started doing yoga 15 years ago because I suffered with cervical spondylosis. I had a terrible C4, C5 injury while trying to lose weight in the gym. And I was trying to do crunches and I was watching the television. And obviously, it also taught me that while you're doing crunches, you're supposed to be looking up and not in front. So I was quite bad, and I started yoga because I had to heal myself, because it's the only holistic way of actually giving your body some kind of exercise and stretching and, you know, also calming you down. And in a strange, odd sort of way, it's also kind of therapeutic and physiotherapeutic. So, yeah, I started it because of that. So, yeah, I've had knee ailments. I've had, because see, we've done so much in terms of, you know, traveling, dancing. There's been so much wear and tear. I used to be a state level volleyball player. Um, I've just, you know, worked it out too much. But with God's grace, I think I've been able to get over those ailments and problems. And they do surface up sometimes, you know. Also happens with a lot of stress. They can be triggered with that. And I think inclusion of ghee in my diet, which I religiously do. My lunch is incomplete without dal, chawal, ghee, sabzi. And I've also converted to vegetarianism, which is very hard. I'm a Mangalorean, you know, so I need my, my machi, I need it. But I've given it up because I really believe it's important to shock your body sometimes also. You know, otherwise your body gets very bored. So yeah, so I want to see how my body feels. I actually feel much lighter. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing.
So Dr. Nene, I think everyone suffers from a backache at some question to make a choice. So everyone's obsessed about weight loss. Let's not beat around the bush. And the question is always, is diet more important or is exercise more important? So if you had to choose one of the two, to diet or to exercise, if someone can't do both, which one would it be?
You know, that's a really interesting question. So I'm only going to tell you as it is. And this is the truth. It's 70% diet and 30% exercise. And that is the truth. Most people think that, you know, they'll go to the gym, they'll slog it out, sweat it out, and they think that, oh, and then they'll come and they'll eat junk. And they're like, but you know, I worked out in the gym for 2 hours. And I'm like, but you're not eating right. They're not sleeping right. You know, they've got erratic schedules. They're drinking. There's some people who kind of live to eat. And there are some people who just eat to live. So I belong to the latter. And I'm very middle class when it comes to eating. So I really believe that that's how you should be. So you break your fast with a interesting breakfast, have the heaviest meal in the daytime, and you eat anything that you want to before 7:30. You'll be very healthy. And don't eat, you know, there's some people who eat very healthy, they'll have a salad and then suddenly at 11 o'clock they'll feel hungry and they'll eat cornflakes with sugar. So I'm like, what kind of a diet is this? So I really think it's all about a lifestyle modification. So when I say, even if you do not exercise, but you keep yourself active, there has to be something that is increasing your metabolism. You know, if you're going to be sitting in front of the TV and eating very little food, your muscles aren't working. You're not going to feel hungry. So I really think you just lead a life where you just breathe right, you eat the quantity that your body needs and that you want to eat, and never have a weighing scale. Really, I am against this whole thing of going on the weighing scale and looking at your weight. I think most people lose interest in weight loss because they realize that after 3 days, after they walk like 1 kilometer every day for 3 days, they look at the weighing scale and they're like, oh, I'm not lost weight, so forget it. This is not working for me. So I just think just chuck your weighing scales out. Don't be obsessed with weight because that's going to increase your stress levels, that's going to increase cortisol, and that's going to slow down your metabolism. It's very like technical and scientific, and it's logical. So just be happy and be grateful. That is the most important thing. So if you're just grateful for the food that's in your plate, and if you chew it right, coming back to no TV day, there are lots of people who are watching the television while eating. And I'm very against that. And they do that with their kids. कि अच्छा बच्चा नहीं खा रहा है, he's fussy, put on the television, feed him. You know, there is a research that they've done where it is proved that the food gets digested only, I think only 70% of your food gets digested when you're watching a television or you're not concentrating on what you're eating. If you're doing some other activity, there are most people on their mobiles while they're eating. So I just feel the art of feeling good about what is going into your body comes from the attitude of gratitude, one, and concentrating on what you are eating. Chota portion ho, bada portion ho, immaterial. What you are eating has to be eaten with concentration, eaten with gratitude, and you lead a very healthy life. So that's just the bedrock of good health. I believe that.
I think that's a perfect closure of just being grateful for what we have. And before I open it to the audience for questions, I'll give you the chance to ask any questions to our doctors if you'd like to. And if not, then we can have questions from the audience for either of them.
No, I don't know. Is there anything you want me to ask?
If you could just raise your hands, somebody with a mic will come over to you.
Oh, he wants to ask me something.
Okay.
Doc, please.
Basically, what's your exercise protocol? Diet, we all understand. I mean, I ran 10K last night and came home and had one Snicker bar and a Twixt, and that summed it up. That, changed it all. So what's your exercise protocol? Like, what do you do? Other than yoga, is there something? Because yoga cannot be a panacea, isn't it?
You know, when I was, obviously when there is lot more of weight, when you've got to lose that and you have that benchmark, like when I had to lose 32 kilos with my child, I did yoga, I did core strengthening exercises, and I coupled it with a bit of cardio. But I did that only 4 times a week. But my diet was very clear. So I had brown rice, I had lots of eggs. It was obviously protein and carbs and more fiber rich. But now I don't need to do that much. So for me, it's just yoga. And when you have a 3.5-year-old, your cardio is there only. So just running after my child just keeps me fit, really. And when it's a boy, it's even harder because it's hard work. So yeah, so it's a good mix of a good lifestyle modification because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I understand what I'm eating. So you will not believe it, I haven't worked out in the last 4 weeks. I've just started doing my yoga again in the last 4 days. Because I've just not had the time. You're in the midst of so much work. There was Diwali, there was this book release, and you're dealing with business and appearances. So I may stand here and sound like, oh, my life is very calm and it's all in order. And I'm also a full-time mother. So and a homemaker. So that's a full-time job already. So I just think that at the end of it all, you have to prioritize. And when I don't have the time to work out, it's concentrating on what I'm eating, what's going into my body. So that's all. So I'm just aware of what I'm eating. So that's really the key. Moderation.
Audience, yeah.
See, you talked about diet, you talked about exercise, but in diet, what is the percentage of carbohydrates, what is the percentage of proteins, and what is the percentage of vegetables, which you have not said anything. If you can throw some light on that, it will be a good thing.
Uncle, that's a very valid question, and it's for people like you that I have written this book. So I want everybody to please buy it. But like I've mentioned in the book, it's very clear that the Indian thali is the most complete food because you've got your vitamins, you've got your fiber, you've got your protein in the dals, you've got your calcium in your paneer, the yogurt. So it's a really well-rounded, and your fiber in your brown rice or whatever you want, choose to eat, bajra, wheat, roti. So it's the most complete meal in terms of what do you call it, a balanced meal plan. So whatever you're eating at home is the most complete meal if you are eating it right. So for finer details, you must buy the book. बच्चों को कुछ पता नहीं होता, जो हम लोग सिखाएंगे वही बच्चे सीखेंगे. तो अगर हम लोग बैठ के टीवी देख रहे हैं और खा रहे हैं तो उनको भी लगेगा कि ये सही चीज़ है. तो आई रियली थिंक कि पहली बात